So we're at Jorang Grove in Kings Park, and I'm doing this video for the Kings Park board and executive. And clearly there's an issue with some drivers speeding in and out of the tennis club car park. Not all drivers, it seems to be a minority from my observations, but there's enough of them that it certainly poses a risk that a pedestrian, a cyclist, a scooter rider, even a Kings Park employee getting around in one of those gardening buggies could be hit by a speeding driver on this crossing simply because of an issue with sight lines on this corner. So let's just have a look at it. Now, there's a pavement marking on the road there in yellow, that's that rhombus, and I pasted out, and from the forward tip of that, it's about 10 meters to the crossing. Similarly, I paste from the crossing going west in the direction those runners are heading, and I don't think from this point there's more than 10 meters of viewing distance up the path. So you can see where those white lines are painted on the path. They only just become visible to a driver as you move forward of the rhombus. So a driver going in and out at 20 kilometers an hour is quite safe, because if someone does pop out on a scooter or a bike, they've got enough reaction time, hopefully, to pull up and stop. And we can see here, that car has just zipped out from behind that building, and if I didn't brake, there could have potentially been a collision. So let's just have a look at a map of it. You can see the brown square on the overhead map is that building, and here's a driver exiting, and that triangle represents their field of view. And you can see to the left, it's completely obstructed by that building. And like I said, I think you've got about 10 meters spacing between that pavement marking and the crossing. And someone approaching from the west, you've got 10 meters or less of sight line. So the issue here, we can look at a braking distance chart where you're looking at reaction time, etc. At 40 kilometers an hour, it'll take someone 27 meters to pull up in the dry. And how many meters per second is someone traveling? Well, at 20 kilometers an hour, they're going 5.5 meters a second. 1 second reaction time and braking, although there's like 10 meters of distance, they should have enough time to pull up. But someone traveling, and here we got a stopping distance calculator. It says at 20 kilometers an hour with a 1 second reaction time, it'll take such and such. At 30 kilometers an hour, though, they need 13 meters to pull up. And that's clearly not enough distance. At that point, you've got 10 meters of braking distance, takes you 13 meters to pull up. Obviously, you're going to hit someone on the crossing. And, you can see scooters, they can do 25 kilometers an hour. Cyclists can do 25 kilometers an hour. Even skateboarders can possibly do that. The marathon record was set last week with someone running at 21 kilometers an hour. Now, was just to show that quite a few drivers are actually extremely cautious on this crossing. That person almost came to a complete stop and had a good look to their left. So I think there's a lot of regulars at the club, at the gym or at the tennis club, who have worked out there's a serious issue here with sight lines, and they're slowing down or stopping when they get to the crossing and having a really good look. The problem is there are some that aren't, that is blazing through without a care in the world. And of course, you've got people who are coming here for the first time, and they've got no idea there is a restricted sight line. Okay, now from this direction, you've got a 20 kilometer hour speed limit sign, but going into the park, although there's a warning sign, there is no actual speed limit sign. And I guess all the regulations, etc., would say you've got to put up a 20 kilometer hour sign going into the park. That pole sticking out horizontally there, that looks like a CCTV camera mount. Nothing's been installed. I reckon it'd be good to make sure they do get installed, and you've got cameras covering the crossing so you can see what happens if there is a collision. Now, if you do see a lot of speeding going in and out, why not putting in one of these radar signs, telling people how fast they're going, particularly as they exit. And if that doesn't work, well, how about considering putting in this cobblestone road treatment, which you can see is down to Elizabeth Quay. And this seems to be quite effective at slowing a lot of drivers down as well, both as they enter the Elizabeth Quay precinct and as they drive around it and exit it. The other advantage is it actually makes a bit of noise as a vehicle drives across it. So someone cycling or scootering along the path, assuming they don't have headphones on, would actually be able to hear a vehicle approaching from the tennis club before they could actually see it, because they'd hear the rumble of the tyres as it crosses the cobbles, and they could then be prepared to brake or take evasive action if the driver is still continuing to go way too fast and ignore the speed limit. So, just to recap, there's a serious issue with sight lines. You've got some drivers that are speeding in and out. I suggest you go and get a road safety engineer or consult with the main roads department and figure out, what to do. Don't take my suggestions as gospel. I'm not an expert on this stuff. Go seek professional advice and see if you can sort this out. Thanks very much.